Finnegan. He's a 100-pound Bernese Mountain Dog, and he's actually our family pet, our being my family. And he's been with us since 2020. He was a pandemic puppy. He's 4 years old now. And he is just this bundle of love and a gentle giant. We could tell really early on as a family that he tuned into when people needed like an extra lift. And I could always tell if my girls were having a bad day. I have two daughters. Like, he seemed to like know and would go to them and kind of put his head on their lap when they were feeling sad. And on walks in the neighborhood, people would come up to us, and one of which happened to be a person who was widowed and had lost her dog, and just said, like, I look forward to seeing you when you're walking him, and he's making me think that I'm ready for another dog in my life. And so he's brought a lot of joy to people even before the pet therapy piece was like part of his identity, although I think in some ways it already had been prior to the certification. It's been great. I wish I could have him here every day because students and others have really taken to him. So we do drop-in pet therapy hours in the counseling center. He's here every Thursday and every other Wednesday. And students will sign up to be able to spend 10 to 15 minutes with him. We'll have up to 3 students in a time block, but if they sign up together, because people may want to come and just want their time with Finnegan. Students, when I take him, he's always with me, but when I take him on walks, stop me all the time, whether they know who he is, which now at this point a lot of people recognize Finnegan, have either seen flyers or have heard about him. So I've had a lot of, is that Finnegan? Is that the therapy dog? And sometimes it's just students saying, hey, can I pet your dog? And he's pretty fluffy, he's double coated as a burner. And I've had wonderful conversations with students that, whether, in the counseling center, who may just be there for Finnegan and may have never crossed our threshold for any other reason but to see him. Or students that are just walking the campus telling me about missing their family pet, or unfortunately sometimes someone has talked about having recently lost a family pet. And Finnegan is just there. He sits on your feet half the time as you're standing because he tends to want to be close to people. He's a leaner, and that tends to warm people's hearts. He also rolls a lot on our lawns here at PC. He really loves the grass. And a lot of times he just calls attention to himself by rubbing and rolling on his back. And that tends to bring people over who are laughing, and they'll say, like, I needed that. There's a lot of that phrase with Finnegan, including in the interactions that are just on these walks of, I really needed this. Can I pet him? I'm about to go take an exam, and I would love to be able to do this with my own dog at home if I could. So staff have really, I'll talk first about the counseling center staff. What we do day to day, we really feel, so rewarded by the work we do, but sometimes it can get kind of heavy given what some students may be coping with. And I've had staff just knock on my door in between students and just say, hey, can I spend a few minutes with Finnegan? This was a tough last hour. And so he takes hugs very readily. So sometimes he just hops up on the couch next to, whether it be a student or staff, and again, the lean, even when he's sitting on the couch, he may lean into you. There's so much research around the benefits of pet-assisted therapy, pet therapy, or even just having a pet. From a physiological standpoint, we know that it reduces blood pressure. We know that it reduces stress, which in turn will reduce inflammation in the body, like cortisol levels. People who engage in pet-assisted therapy often report feeling less isolated in those instances as well. So there's some long-term health benefits. There's also social connection in that with students who may come together. There's been actual research on pet-assisted therapy on college campuses, specifically with first-year students. And students who engaged in their pet therapy program reported feeling more connected to the community. So it's been a really robust area of research to draw upon, and I'm just so glad that Finnegan's also like adding to that just in an ad hoc way. It's so clear to me that a lot of that is happening here. So if students are interested in doing some of the drop-in times, we keep them typically open until the day of, because I think sometimes we might have people come every week and then we wouldn't have time for everybody. So we switch them around too. What we have suggested people do is just call the counseling center or drop by on Thursday mornings, and then again every other Wednesday, making sure that it's the Wednesday that he's here. And you can sign up for a 10 to 15 minute slot. Just let us know if it's just you coming or if you're bringing up to a couple of other people. I'm really hopeful that we may get a couple of other individuals in the Personal Counseling Center staff to also get certified as a pet therapy team with one of their pets. So I'm really hopeful this is something that we'll see grow on campus. It would be great for the campus to know that if you see me walking Finnegan, that we welcome you stopping us. And it's always great to ask to pet him ahead of time, but that's why he's here. And so please don't hesitate to come on over, introduce yourself. It's been a really wonderful experience to have these conversations with students. For some students, you may feel like you want to do a pet therapy session with Finnegan on a given day, but if you need assistance with making an appointment with a counselor, that's something I could also help you do after we're done with that pet therapy session. So sometimes having that first with Finnegan can feel like, all right, I see what the counseling center is like, I got to see the space, and now I'm ready to potentially talk with someone one-on-one about some struggles that I may be having.